as to how I can change my lifestyle so that I can be more environmentally friendly and help reduce waste. So, the first thing I want to focus on is a very common yet vital life motto: reduce, reuse, recycle. We've heard it all before, but here it is again. It seems that not a ton of people get to see it enough, or they just don't really feel like it's important or don't see why it could affect others. So, the first point I wanted to focus on is that we need to reduce what we use. We use a lot of stuff every day. We use tons of plastic bottles, such as shampoo, conditioner, deodorant. Um, it's countless things. Um, well, for example, I want to show you something I use every day: glasses. These glasses, as you can see, they look just fine. They look like normal glasses. They get the job done. But if I show you in the next slide, they're missing an arm. I mean, they still get the job done. They still sit on my face. If anything, it makes it easier for me to talk on the phone with my glasses on. So there's no point in me replacing them. They're great reading glasses for around the house, or if I'm just lounging around at a friend's house. I don't need anything special, and it would be pointless for me to get new frames and new lenses if I don't need them. They would just, I suppose I could recycle them, um, but a lot of times they might end up going to the trash otherwise. A lot of people may throw them away or something like that. Um, the next point is that the same goes for things that seem like trash. This is some scrap wood that was used for shelving in the garage. It could easily have gone to waste, but instead, I decided to repurpose it. You could easily turn something like this into wall art. It's cheap and easy and better for the environment compared to buying wall art from like Ross or TJ Maxx, Fred Meyers, any of these furniture stores. And they would also charge you an arm and a leg for it, so what fun is that? There are countless projects you can make, such as this plant hanger, made of old ropes and scrapped 2x4s. Materials can be found around your house or yard, or you can find them in thrift shops, and there are plenty of environmentally friendly ways that you can meet your decorating or daily needs without having to buy something new and leaving old treasures to go to waste. And honestly, sometimes this stuff looks better than what you can find in the stores. Speaking of old treasures, I managed to save this dresser from going to the dump, allowing me to take it home and fix it up rather than leaving it to go to waste. There are countless things that you can use rather than letting them go to waste, such as my friend's slippers, who she's had these for years, and every time the sole starts to come off, all we gotta do is slap some Gorilla Glue, slam it in the clamp, and then she has a few more months' use out of it. This keeps things such as the rubbers and other forms of plastic to keep from going to the dump, keeping the earth clean and healthy. After all, it takes many, 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 many years for this kind of plastic waste to decompose and go back into the earth. And it's bad for our wildlife. It sits around long after we're gone, oftentimes. And that stuff just tends to build up. There are plenty of things throughout one's day that could be repurposed. For example, this old beet jar. Dwight's Beet Farm has apparently been producing a lot of beets, but you don't want this glass jar to go to waste. How about we use it to hold Nana's homemade salsa? It's homemade, and that way you don't have to buy new storage containers. That just takes more resources, and those storage containers will eventually end up in the dump as well because things break. This prevents it from having to be recycled again, which also takes resources. And it's easy. I already had the beet jar. Just use it for some salsa. The next thing that I feel is increasingly relevant nowadays is technology waste. There's always newer and better forms of technology, such as the PlayStation 5 or the new Xbox coming out. But who needs the new console? When you have an Xbox 360 or a Nintendo 64, they work just fine. They're fun. People had fun with them, and they work great. I mean, I get wanting to have the newest, best console, but if you're going to get that, you may as well sell your old console to someone who will get use out of it that would otherwise buy something new. Or you could take it to a technology recycling place. There's plenty of them in town. I know there's ones you could take it to the Goodwill. You could take it to like Aspire has a tech recycling place where I live in Grants Pass, and that also gives people jobs. Things get recycled; they don't go to waste. And speaking of recycle, a lot of people just throw everything in the trash. Um, I really want to emphasize that not everything is trash, and don't just throw it in a bin and forget about it. Your local waste services will often have a list of what can be recycled, so that you could take those things out so that they don't go to waste. Um, and sometimes you can help out those who don't tend to get that idea and just kind of throw things on the side of the road and pollute. Um, so if you see trash on the side of the road, don't just leave it there, pick it up. Um, it makes your environment cleaner and it's just more pleasant to live in. So you can pick it up and put it in the proper disposal services such as recycle. And if it can't be recycled, put it in the appropriate bins because we know that sometimes you do have to throw things away. And as long as they are being put in the proper disposal systems, because trash services know how to get rid of trash. It makes sense. Oh, yes. Some things can't be recycled, such as packing peanuts, straws, and aerosol cans, but we can make an effort to reduce the amount of these products we buy so that we can reduce the number of resources that go to waste, such as these metal straws. Save the turtles, right? Me using these metal straws, I'll have them for many, many years to come, and that reduces me using a straw. Oftentimes people use them every day, and that's a one-time use. They can't be recycled, and it just makes sense to use a metal one. There are countless benefits to reducing the waste in our environment, such as having a cleaner environment. It's cheaper, it can prevent wildlife from suffering or dying, and there are limited resources on this planet, and it should be treated that way. Thank you.